back. It's time for cred. Basically, we're just going to discuss which indie or hobbyist developer we look up to the most and why. You know, what is it specifically about one indie developer that makes you feel good about life as opposed to another? And to start us off with that is Mike. Let's go. Take it away.
Was just about nothing. I don't think I can really list a particular one that stands out to me. I don't suppose I follow a lot of projects closely enough. I would just say that in an all-encompassing general nature, I would have an equal and high respect for anyone putting their time into making some of these cool games that you see around.
You can say Miyamoto if you really want to.
No.
All right.
That ship has sailed.
All right. That ship is sailed out of here. Mike's on it, and he's waving goodbye. So, Kenny, what do you got?
Yeah, I've actually got a couple of people I want to talk about real quick. I would say, like, an honorable mention would be our own Bob Razor, because I've known him for a very, very long time, and he's always been active in doing stuff. But that would be the easy answer. So I'm going to pick out a couple of old QB people. I was never really part of the QB scene, but the two of the people that really kept me going back when I got started was Dark Dread and Sinine. And Dread, you know, he's like the QB RPG god. I mean, he was always doing something. He was always putting out good content. His games were always fun to play. He always had a certain style to it that was all his own. And, you know, he was extremely prolific. I mean, he would crank out, you know, an RPG every year or so. And even if they weren't exceptionally long, they were always entertaining, and they always had a certain standard of quality to them that most other people really never put into their work. So he was definitely inspiration for me to keep going with my projects, especially at the earlier stages. And going back to Sinine, I know that's a name that, you know, just kind of everyone would be like, who? But his whole thing about QB was he was always experimenting. He didn't finish a lot of games. In fact, the last game I think that he finished was a really neat little action RPG called the Griffin Legend. But what he was always doing was experimenting. He'd come up with these little isometric sprite type environments. Then he'd play around with filtering, and then a couple months later he'd pop up and he's playing around with his own little 3D engine. And he was always just going off doing his own thing, and always being extremely experimental, and I always respected that. He always kept giving me new ideas to play around with. So
yeah, QBasic, Mike. Didn't you know, like, the original GDR was all QBasic stuff?
Just about, yeah.
QBasic rocks, man.
I didn't think you could do a 3D engine in the QBasic, though.
Well, Sinine was kind of crazy, but, you know, I think we all are to a large extent.
All right, Jesse, how about you?
You know, I've actually tried a ton of independent games made under different engines, and some of them were actually coded in Lego and C++ and all that. I've got a DVD with, like, literally hundreds of independent games that I played. I wouldn't say I was active in the scene as far as, like, expressing myself, but I kept up with it, downloaded and tried all kinds of games. And the best ones to me came from the AGS scene, which is, you know, the Big Blue Cup and all that. You know what I'm talking about?
No.
I guess not. Anyway, the AGS is an engine that lets you develop your own adventure games, like the old Sierra LucasArts style.
Yeah.
And, I want to talk about two guys that came from that scene initially. The first one would be, and I really hate to give this guy credit because I think he's a douche now. What he does now, I don't really approve of so much, but I'm sure everybody's heard of Zero Punctuation, right?
Yep.
Okay. I don't really give a damn about Zero Punctuation and the whole, like, cynic crap going on with that. But before that, Ben Croshaw used to make his own AGS games, and he made one series in particular that was extremely good, and it was called the Days series. And there's 4 games in that. And there's, like, the names of them, you know, there's, like, 5 Days a Stranger and 7 Days a Skeptic and whatnot. And
oh, yeah, I've heard of those. Yep.
Yeah, if anybody listening has ever played that, go to fullyramblomatic.com, and you can download all his old Days games. And they're really good because of he put story and characters before he put gameplay, and sometimes to the detriment of some of the puzzles. But I really liked how he tried to create these edgy stories that a commercial publisher wouldn't be interested in, especially back in the days when adventure games were in vogue. And so that kind of like got me to think, you know, maybe more people will try and do something more artistic and edgy and with their stories for their games. And so far, I haven't seen anybody do that in the independent scene. So I give him a lot of credit on that. The other guy I'd give a big shout out to would be Bernard from OrigamiHero.com. And his AGS title in particular that I really adore is Cedric and the Revolution. And it's done in the style of LucasArts, like Day of the Tentacle type interface. And it's really cool to me because it's only about 3 or 4 hours long, but he fits a lot of puzzles in it, a lot of very concise little, very humorous story, a lot of clever puzzles and all that. And when this guy makes a game, he doesn't set out to make something epic. He just sets out to make something that's self-contained and is only like 2 to 5 hours long. And because he sets that limit initially, he actually finishes his games. And he's finished like a good 8 or 9 games, and all of them are great. They're not all adventure games; some of them are platformers. But the whole thing is, a lot of people don't realize, and I know poor old Sirocco Kenny here, he was guilty of that in the very beginning. Is they'll set out and they go, "I want to make my own RPG." Or I want to make my own FPS, and there's no way one person is going to be able to make a game of that size and have it actually be decent.
You bastard.
So you got married, Kenny, okay?
I know.
But anyway, so that's another reason why I really admire Ben Croshaw or Yahtzee and then Bernard, because they understand how to set limits, and because of that, they actually finish
their stuff. Yep, that's definitely a big win for any indie developer. You know, just having that finished game that is like actually for real done, and people can play it.
Yeah, and they put a lot of work into their art. Both of them are very good pixel artists, and Bernard's better at painting backgrounds. A lot of his backgrounds they look hand painted. I don't know how he does it. And then Yahtzee is extremely good at character animation. I'll give him that much. But so those two guys would be my heroes from the indie scene currently. Other than Kenny, you know, he's always number one.
Yeah. All right. For me, starting out back in the day when I was just learning stuff, one of the big Allegro guys at the time was Johan Pates, or however you say his name, Pietz, I don't know, from Freelance Design. I don't know if you guys have heard of him. I'm sure Kenny has, but
Oh yeah.
he was definitely a big deal with Icy Tower and Happy Land Adventures, and he was a big inspiration for me because I was just starting out and I was like, wow, this guy has some pretty cool games and they're all complete, and he ended up doing the art for Zepp's Drewman, so that was totally badass at the time. I was blown away.
He's a good artist.
Yeah, he is very good. So yeah, starting out, he was definitely a big inspiration to me, and mostly because he was more concerned with just getting down cool gameplay ideas and just putting out complete games or at least good prototypes. And I thought it was cool how he was just experimenting with different things. So at the time I really looked up to his stuff. Now he's doing mobile stuff, I suppose. I haven't heard from him in a long time, and his website is kind of doesn't have a lot of updates, so who knows what he's up to. I don't know if he's doing as much crazy stuff anymore. A few others that I don't know as personally because I obviously haven't worked with them or anything like that. The guy who wrote Cave Story definitely gives me some motivation to write like a cool platformer. I don't know what his actual name is. He goes by like Pixel or something. He spent a huge amount of time working on that game. And the only other developer that I think is pretty badass is the guy who wrote Warning Forever, because I just love that game and I think it's totally sweet and it's free. So yeah, I look up to guys who, I don't know, just write complete stuff that looks cool and retro and platformy. And that's about it.
There's a lot to be said for actually finishing a project.
Yes.
You said earlier. That's some good cred off the bat.
That's definitely good cred. And dude, when you finish your own game, yeah, it feels so good. So anyway, yeah, it looks like we all look up to somebody like normal human beings, except for Mike. We can take a break. And we're back. It's time for Juicy Tidbits. Our question for today is, if you could choose any video game hairstyle to be your own hairstyle, which would it be and why? Kenny, go.
Oh yeah, man! I tell you what, I got a totally swinging hairstyle, man. Let's do Alucard from Symphony of the Night, because he's got like this effeminate, slightly impossibly freakishly long, luxurious hair, and I want to do this. I want to wear this hair just to piss off all the women, because even though he's a dude, no woman can possibly have hair that fucking awesome. So you're going to walk around and a woman's going to be like, oh my god, look at your hair. And it's like, that's right, bitch. My hair is so much more voluptuous than yours will ever be.
It's because he's gay.
I don't care about that. His hair kicks ass.
His hair kicks ass. Jesse, what do you got?
I'm going to have to go with Qbert, man.
Doesn't he just have like one little spiral of a hair?
Exactly. It's so easy to deal with. Just get up in the morning, you grab your spork, you go pap, and then it's done.
That's classic.
That's so much easier than what I have to do, man. You know how much a bitch it is to maintain a perm?
I wouldn't know. That was before my time, unfortunately. Mike, Mike, which hair would you pick and why? Go.
I just don't know. I mean, I only have one answer to all these questions, and P.T. Piranha doesn't have hair, so I'm really lost for answers.
Gotta pick someone with hair. Just pull it out of your ass. Don't care what it is. Oh, man. Come on. All right, fine. I'll go. Think of one while you go. Video game character hair that I would choose is, I have no idea what her name is. Well, I'd like to say Samus, but that's an obvious given answer. It's not gonna be Samus. You know the chick from Mortal Kombat, like Shao Kahn's wife or something, and she does like Sindel. She like attacks you with her hair. Yeah, I want that hair. I just want to go walking around. What?
What's Mortal Kombat?
The fighting game.
Oh, I'm sorry, that was before my time.
Oh, well, you know.
What?
Well, she didn't have... He's joking and making fun of me.
Does she have a perm?
No. She's just got long hair and she can whip people with it. It's badass. I just want to just be sitting around, someone walks by and just, like, stab them with my hair. Take that.
Like, have it hold your coffee or something while you're walking around.
Hey, it could be just like that Skittles commercial where the guy's eating Skittles with his beard.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. All right, Mike, what do you got? You got to drop something down.
Nope. No, I'm not. I'm not going to play your game.
No, you got to play the game or else you're never coming on the podcast again.
I'm picking it for you. Mega Man, go. And not the good one with the Mega Man Legends where he shows his hair. The one where he's got the friggin' blue cap on. Go. Do it. Do it.
Okay, Mega Man, blue cap.
Now.
Mike, you're such a sore sport. Come on. You could pick P.T. Piranha. Don't you want petals on your head?
Why would I want frickin' flowers on my head?
I don't know. Why do you want P.T. Piranha to be your dad?
Because he's better than Mega Man.
Yeah, whatever. Anyhow, that's going to wrap up episode 12. You know, until next month, we'll see you around. On behalf of Jesse, Kenny, and Mike, I'm your host, Jay. We're out of here.
GDR.
Stay on drugs, don't do school.
Oh, but you're not doing them again.
Oh, yes, I am.
He will, because there's going to be women. And you won't be there.
If you could choose... Wow. If you could choose not to rumble your mic, maybe I could do this
What are you talking about?
without mic rumbling.
Holy shit. You're blowing out my speakers, man. Damn.
Like, the first game I ever made was Horny Robots, okay? I don't think I have to explain that.
Don't do school, because you're too cool to rule in Hyrule. Because my name is Link and I don't drool, because that's for fools.
I want to kill myself now.
Developers Refuge.
Why? Fuck you, Kenny.
Now you understand why I keep this guy around.
Now you understand why when we say we make games, people say we're fucking crazy. Because they listen to this shit.